whole.
Nice to put it behind us. I think we survived that week, and I think that Bobby and Koff and Drew did an incredible job with that team this year. 4 straight games in 4 straight overtime games, so there's not a lot of separation, and it's hard to come out with those 1-goal victories for that many times, and we had to come back on them there in the rink down 4-2. They had us 3-1, I believe, or 3-0 here earlier in the year, so they're headed in the right direction. It was I really felt we survived it. So,
what does it feel like to move past the team that seems to counter our system so well?
They all counter your system. If we still got to play faster. We still got to manage the puck better. I felt that, I thought we had a good first period tonight. We had a good half of a period, first period last night. But I thought our overtime, the complete overtime tonight was our most balance that we had. Because before, to be honest with you, we were really going to Gainey's line and Arvid's line, and we were really relying on them on some critical situations, waiting for some others to get going, and in overtime we had all of our lines were going, I felt, and there was some D that played absolutely incredible. Goetze played. I mean, Carroll was great, like he always is. Sawyer gave us a good game. Goetze was phenomenal, and Thorne was phenomenal. Leiper was pretty good, but I thought Thorne and Goetze really stepped up when Bucks went out, and that was absolutely huge for us.
It's not easy to play overtime with 5D, but talk a bit about really all those guys stepping up and doing exactly what you needed them to do from that point forward.
Yeah, like I said, it was absolutely incredible the effort they put in there. There were no guesses. They took care of business. There were no risk plays. There were no chances that could. I felt we had momentum in the overtime. We were rolling our lines pretty good, and we were keeping energy going after them, and I think our energy level is growing to some degree, maybe because of that. And they didn't. I thought they did a really good job of not letting something happen. They backed each other up well. They gapped well. They kept foot in the gas. They kept it going the other way. We let up, I thought, when we got the 2-0 lead. I thought we kind of took our foot off it a bit, and he found the net a couple of times. Bounce here, bounce there, and that can happen in overtime. So I thought our D did an incredible job.
Speaking of depth, you get a goal out of Crespi, a goal out of Soretsky. How important?
Assist out of Crespi.
Yes, yeah. How important was it to get those guys on the score sheet in a game where you needed them to?
Well, you saw how important it was. It's interesting. Last night, our athletic director, Suzanne Sandberg, we were talking after the game, and she said, "Boy, I'd sure like to see Jake Crespi get a big goal for us. I'd just like to see him get that monkey off his back." And she was prophetic. He got a goal and assist. Almost ended it in the first overtime on a delayed penalty. He got in on goal as well. So, it's valuable. When you look at it, we scored a shorthanded goal, and we scored a penalty shot. That's all we got. Power play didn't do anything, and 5-on-5 we didn't score until the overtime. So it was our depth. Tonight it was our depth. Last night our special teams won it. Tonight it was our depth. I just you just want these guys to believe, and every time someone has success, it helps them believe a little bit.
Going into next weekend, it's only a 1-game series. Will that change how you approach the game at all?
Oh yeah, it'll change everything in the game. It'll be like it's a single elimination, and it's we'll judge accordingly. But so much of it goes into who's going. Like I said, we if you saw, I mean, I don't know minutes wise, but Gainey's line, Arvid's line, those lines played significant minutes. It's not like they got 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes. I mean, now there were more minutes in the game, but I bet you they were up, 18, 19, 20 minutes in the hockey game, which was critical for us. So whatever line's going, you have to give them a chance to go. And tonight it was obviously Gainey's line was going. And Gainey scored last night, so that's a big effort out of those guys, and so they were pivotal, vitally important to us.
we didn't see quite as much from offensively tonight, but Bronte was another one that seemed all throughout the night to find ways to try to help create offense.
Yeah, he used his legs. He used his speed, and that's important. He's got that, and we need that element because there's some other guys that aren't playing as fast as we need them to play, or that we'd like them to play. And so they're trying to slow the game down to their liking, and you can't do that. You got to push it and learn to make plays as fast as you can. So, Crespi's speed was evident tonight. Bronte's speed was evident tonight. So that was again extremely vital.
Yeah, you put him on a line with Mosley, and then I think had Arvid centering for a bit, and they
Bronte?
seemed, Bronte.
Yeah, that was the line.
And it seemed to really click in terms of getting the speed, getting chances, and pushing in.
Yeah, we were going with we were doing a little rotation last night and tonight, but I thought overall that Soretsky and Bronte were giving us a little more than Nards was overall tonight, and when we got into that rhythm, I just wasn't gonna just make a change in overtime just to make a change. We had 4 lines going. I did think about a couple times getting Nards out there, for some fresh legs and things like that. But I felt that, I felt we were a little bit fresher than Ferris was. It looked. I think we wore him down a little bit with that long change in the second period or in the first overtime. I thought we fatigued them a little bit. They had to use a timeout a couple of times in both overtimes to get face-offs, get some line changes. So I just wasn't going to risk anything. It comes to a point where you have to rely on your guys and let them do their job.
If, for example, if Buckley isn't back for tomorrow or next weekend or the next set of games, do you see yourself going to a 6D rotation instead of having a forward as the extra skater?
It's a really good question. I see what you're getting at before. That's something we'll have to talk about. But mentioning that, we'll look at whatever gives us the best opportunity. But we got another another way to look at it. If it's a 2-game series, there's probably a little bit more pressure on to do that. In a single game series, can we get by with 5 if we need to at any point? And so it'll be interesting. It's actually a great point. It'll be it's something I got locked in now for one of our first points of discussion on tomorrow.
How exciting was it? And obviously getting the overtime goal is exciting, but to have it be Soretsky, who's struggled to score this year, but he finally gets his second one there on that goal.
Yeah, you like to see guys rewarded, and he's been such a great soldier in staying positive. He's like a coach on the bench. He's like Alex Smith in that he's always got a face-off play that he can tell you, or he's got a little thing. Last night he was on the power play, and he thought that a left-hand shot would be better in that situation. So he said, I think a left-hand shot for what we're trying to do there would in my spot would be better. How many guys do that? He's I've said it many times. There's no one on our team, including me, that has a higher IQ than about the game than Parker. Parker thinks the game extremely well. That's his strength. How
important was it to have Blake battle back after giving up that kind of funny one there for the tying goal? Yeah, it's a deflection. They're throwing everything at the net, and that's where I thought our D did a really good job in the overtimes, because when you're throwing everything at the net and getting bodies in there and it can bounce off something, and that's what it did. Went off one of our guys and went in from that angle, and nothing he can do. He didn't let in a weak goal on the weekend. He might want to have the first one tonight back a little bit. That was a shot with range. Maybe there's a partial screen. Maybe a guy crossed in front of him. But they also caught us on a line change where that guy was all alone and we didn't have a guy on the ice to pick up that late guy.
You have quite a bit of experience with multiple overtimes here at home. We have the Huntsville series back when you were an assistant and the Bowling Green series back when you're an assistant. Does that give you a little better of a point of view to calm your guys down, tell them that everything's fine, just play your game? Yeah, and
it doesn't matter what... how many I'm in. What matters is how many they're in. Mm-hmm. And I believe we broke the record yesterday. I believe I was told, or tied. So we broke the record for. That's our 13th tie game tonight. 13. How many games we played? 30. What? 6? 35. 35 games. So you do the math. That's over. 33, 35% of our games are overtime games. So I don't think that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What matters is how they play in overtime, and it's nice to win these overtime games. And it even drives a point home even more that I don't take those 3-on-3s.
Finally, with the win tonight and with BC sweeping UMass, we are now in 11th in the pairwise. And if UMD takes a loss tonight against St. Cloud, we move up to 10th. How nice is it to be in more or less a safe spot when it comes to the national tournament for an at-large bid?
Well, whatever we get, we've earned. So when that's over, that's over. We're right now on, everything right now is single game from this right on through to the last game of the year. The series are done, and it's nice to, win this series, and we'll take that. Excuse me, we'll take that, Howard. It beats the alternative. Beats the alternative. So.
Thanks, Joe.
Good.
Thank you.